moment, the 19th Regiment no longer exists.
For the time being, she will continue to direct operations at the VA.
I might just bunk down here for the time being.
If I stay on for the time being, bearing the burden at my age.
For the time being, I shall require only women and children.
I think we're going to have to accept Federation control for the time being.
In other words, he outranks us all.
It is of no moment the 19th Regiment no longer exists. For the time being.
I beg your pardon, Colonel.
Andrea.
In light of Dr. Arroway's long experience in these matters, for the time being, she will continue to direct operations at the VLA, with the express understanding that any future discoveries...
Officers' dugouts down this way.
I might just bunk down here for the time being.
About myself. If I stay on for the time being, bearing the burden at my age, it is not because of love of...
Thank you. Good. For the time being, I shall require only women and children. Gentlemen,
right here.
Please.
All right, boy.
To be realistic, Your Majesty, I think we're going to have to accept Federation control for the time being.
That is something I cannot...
Die trying to escape.
Are you quite finished with us?
For the time being.
Good day.
Aren't you?
All right, Elsie, thanks.
Will that be all, sir?
For the time being, yeah.
Team. There are shop boys, and there are boys who just happen to work in shops for the time being. And trust me, Tristan.
Refuse all the better. So for the time being, I'm going to make this slavery malarkey work to my benefit. Still.
Members are free to make their own decisions. For the time being, the General Council calls upon employers to exercise restraint and to avoid...
Better than that one. However, for the time being...
You know, Max, I'm getting...
Has graciously changed her mind and shall live in royal palace.
For the time being, Your Majesty.
These are the children you shall teach. Someday...
Add a few drops of warm beer in with your mixture. Just for the time being. Well, we better clear out.
Make a fight of it. You seem to have good eyes. You stay up here in this lookout for the time being and watch their movements. Curtin, you round up all the birds and herd...
Mr. Ware, I'd like you to stick with the plot in the pilot house for the time being, if you will, please.
Aye, aye, sir.
Hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is everything all right?
Well, actually, just for the time being, he's in Pleasant Brook. Psychiatric.
Oh.
I think these gentlemen have finished for the time being. If you'd like to put your clothes on.
I am the Guardian. At least for the time being, anyhow.
Yes.
Graduation present. You'll live locally for the time being, just until you get your bearings. We've arranged a house and a car for you.
What about Carl and Leon and Martin?
Sweetheart, I know it's hard, but we're all having to say goodbye to our friends for the time being.
Anyway, we'll make new ones where we're going.
How are we going to explain this?
On est un expliquer.
Father was a swine.
Drink the rest. It will contain the curse to your hand for the time being. It will spread, Albus.
Services don't know exactly how to handle this. For the time being, you'll be just fine right here.
Actually?
Just keep your men at bay, Lucian. At least for the time being. Don't force me to regret or remain...
The soil, they live where they don't want to live. That too, which can't be helped for the time being. You happen to know someone that's...
Can't afford to put it into anything that I don't look into. That's my decision for the time being, gentlemen. Goodbye, and thank you for making me chairman.
I'm going to stay in Paris, but just because if I'm unhappy, I'll move back. But for the time being, yes.
With who? With who, Gil?
With no...
Frank with you. He's an unknown quantity. We'd feel better for the time being If he wasn't granted any access to the institutions where sensitive...
You should occupy your own room until I dismiss the nurse. She will occupy your father's room for the time being and will perform a daughter's duties as well as a nurse's.
The brother said he would search Lee's apartment next time he went out of town.
That gets you around the warrant.
For the time being. If we do find something, Mull and X will go to the DA in Valencia.
Stinger, you're all right.
For the time being, Your Majesty. For the time being.
We'll be escorting you to the Commonwealth Ministry on Oris. If there's anything we can do there.
It's real best that we not meet at Langley. For the time being.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I'm just glad that you asked to see me. I've been wanting to...
In the state of Texas occur over at our Huntsville unit downtown. The death row is here for the time being. This is home to all 442 offenders.
If we are to truly discover the meaning of these events, perhaps we should, for the time being, let them unfold.
Yeah? Well then, now that's gonna be our little secret for the time being, okay? Now you go to bed.
We'll just see what happens.
Where will we go?
I don't know. I think we're safe here for the time being. Let's get the wood in now.
What happens when you run out of wood?
I don't know. We'll break up the...
Yeah, so who's this Rick Carver?
It's my boss for the time being.
What's that like?
Oh, it's great. He's nice.
Finance a little later in the term. For the time being, let's just concentrate on the construction figures, shall we?
There's not much difference. It's his for the time being, anyhow.
Are you afraid?
No, sir.
And do not tell me. For the time being, we will hold our present course and speed.
Yes, sir. There will be no...
Oh, it's so boring to worry about things like that. So, no more war.
For the time being.
For the time being.
If it is safe to go outside, then you should bury the body for the time being in a trench or cover it with earth and mark the spot.
Certainly wouldn't put her up with them. Mr. Cornelson, take her to my cabin for the time being. Now, Admiral Vendel.
I know this new cargo is...
Face what I am facing. But for the time being, I'm still alive. I know I'm alive.
Well, thank you, Mr. Malloy. You may stand down for the time being.
Some guy in the back who wants to say something.
What is more, the disposition to kill.
Have you quite finished, Monsieur Poirot?
For the time being, but you will hold yourself ready to answer further questions.
It's a mistake my lawyers will straighten out, but for the time being, it's nothing. It's like...
You are the people's one true God. For the time being. Permit us to worship.
I'm Sergeant Gapatsky, the General's orderly. For the time being, that is. I forgot to take his laces out before cleaning his shoes this morning.
I believe we can desist with the taking of photographs for the time being. Mr. Drummond, is the defense ready to proceed with the...